Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So this question.
Did it already start? Okay.
Perfect timing.
I don't even know what to say. So you can just turn it off.
Doesn't matter.
Well, just turn it off
Doesn't
for a
matter.
little bit.
So it's funny.
I'll tell him.
It's comedic relief.
Yeah. Honey,
Yeah.
will you do all the rattling right now? And
Get out of that kitchen and rattle.
I know it. But he turned on the video, and all of a sudden there's a big crash in the kitchen, and it's like,
Perfect timing.
well, this isn't gonna work.
It was really good.
It was
All right.
funny. Okay,
I got 2 lids to put away.
All right, go for it.
you put those lids away, darling, and we'll just wait. That was funny.
I know, I'm cracking up.
Lee in the kitchen is a hoot anyway, because sometimes I'm laying in my bed, you know, if I'm not feeling good or I'm just taking a rest, and I have to say, what are you doing? Because there's all these different sounds that come from the kitchen. And sometimes it's just, he's chopping.
It's the FOMO or FOMO.
Yes, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She can't stand laying in there not knowing what I'm doing.
yeah. And so he'll holler to me and he'll say, I'm just cutting up cucumbers. Later, I'm just doing the green peppers, because he cuts that stuff up and leaves it in the refrigerator for a snack. And sometimes he'll be doing something that I just can't get the sound, and he'll be pouring cinnamon through a funnel into this little cinnamon thing that he has. And there's just these different sounds, and so it's funny.
It's comforting for her to know what it is.
It is comforting. There's something comforting when I'm laying in there and I don't know what it is, and then I'm curious,
Yeah.
but I don't feel well enough to get up and check it out.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I love that so much.
I gotta tell you, doing dishes is noisy, so
well,
That is
you
true.
have to bear with me.
you know what, honey? The fact that you do those dishes is just lovely.
Get out of that kitchen and wash those.
And we make up the words as he goes along to most of those songs.
For sure.
And the other thing I was thinking about when I was looking into the kitchen is, you know, there's 2 sets of flowers in there. And it is a very rare week that I don't have fresh flowers.
Yeah.
And they come from my neighbors right next door. The roses came from the neighbors the second row down, or the second door down. The lavender and white white mums came from a friend who, about 4 years ago, she was coming to the Villages. They have a house here and they live in Wisconsin, and so they just come here part-time. And on Facebook, I had an open post for a public post for anybody that's interested in studying in-depth Bible study. And I said, if this sounds of anything you're interested in, call me or personal message me. Well, she did. Her name's Laura Cox. And anyway, she said that she would be very interested in doing something like that. Well, it turned out that for 2 years, every Monday afternoon during the school year, because it's a 30-week class, she would come over here at 2:10, and she and Lee and I and Mom would drive 45 minutes up pretty far north to New Covenant Methodist Church, and we would do Bible study. And on the way home, it would always, and that was like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So on the way home, we all were always hungry. And so our conversations were about food and recipes. And she cooks and she gardens and she likes to eat, you know, good food. They golf a lot. But anyway, we just developed the sweetest relationship because the 4 of us, we just get tickled laughing over what we said we were going to have the week before, and then what we actually really had. And but anyway, the other day she came for a visit and she brought me those flowers.
That's nice.
Yeah. So anyway, so I always, well, almost always, like I said, it's just unusual if I don't have fresh flowers, and that's been going on for a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Your turn.
Okay. This is an early life question.
Okay.
It is, where are your parents from?
Oh, that's a good question. So my father is was from Beaver Crossing, Nebraska. That's a rural farm country. His father was a farmer, and they raised 6 children. They had 3 boys and 3 girls, and my father was second to the oldest. So there was a girl that was the oldest, then my father, and the other 4 are in there. And I could tell you, I know that Aunt Carol was the youngest,
Okay.
and so my father would have been 94 this in January. His birthday's January 8th, 1931.
So are they the same age as Alice?
Yes.
And him the same age?
Yes.
Okay.
He and Mom were the same age.
Yeah.
Yes. And so his family, though, came from Dutch background.
Okay.
Yeah, Denmark.
Okay.
And
That's
you,
not Dutch.
what is it? Denmark.
Dane.
Oh, Danish.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
saying that. Danish background, and his grandparents, came over from there and then settled in the rich farmlands of Nebraska. And so when a lot of my childhood memories are from going to that farm, and it's a little farmhouse, and they raised 6 kids in that little farmhouse with that, probably 1.5 baths. I only really remember 1 bathroom. But it was a joy to go to my grandmother's house because she loved to bake and cook. And she did it out of, she had 6 kids. So she had to feed them.
Yeah.
And so walking into her house was like walking into any French boulanger restaurant, because it just smelled
There's always fresh
so
bread or something cooking.
always.
Yeah.
Always. And we always got tickled because the Danes, they like bars. Like they're, people make cookies.
Yeah.
Well, they really like bars. And so always when we had family events, it was all the different ones we're bringing, like the carrot cake bar and the cream cheese bar, or the, I don't know, snickerdoodle bar. And then the Danish bar, but anyhow, they always did bar cookies.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
that's something that I just remember. So even now, my father still has 2 sisters that are living, and my Aunt Carol is one of them, Beth and Ellen's mom, and then my Aunt Joanne lives in Rapid
City?
No. What's the other?
Grand Rapids?
Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Thank you. Grand Rapids, Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're, so they and my mom are kind of the last of that whole group of folks. And then my mom's family, because my mom was adopted, so my mom was being raised by her mother and father, and her father got pneumonia and died. And she and her sister Mary were very young, and they lived in Omaha, and that's where my mom was born, was in Omaha, Nebraska. And so my grandmother, well, my mom was born in 1931, so the times were really difficult,
Yeah.
and so the state actually then took my mom and her sister Mary into their custody because my grandmother Ethel, we called her E.T.
E.T.,
because her last name ended up being Tiemann. It was Nielsen. My mom's maiden name, her birth was Nielsen, and eventually she married and married a guy by the name of Hank or Henry Tiemann, and so we called her E.T. But anyway, the state took the girls and they put them into foster care, and the foster care was such that they would just be in one place for so long, and then there's no permanency. Then the people would call and say, this little girl's not going to work out for us, or this one's not, this isn't going to work. And so my mom was in that orphanage till she was 9 years old. And just after, and her sister Mary was just a year or two older than Mom. So she was in and out of foster homes and foster care, and she really lived at the Omaha Children's Orphanage whenever they didn't have a foster family for her. But eventually, when my mom was about 9, she got adopted out, and so she was adopted to my grandparents, the Great Houses. Yeah, so they lived on a ranch in western Nebraska, and so Lee just said that they needed some slave labor, and according to my mother, that's what her life with them was like, is that they needed help cooking and serving and cleaning up because they had a ranch to run, and they fed the cowboys every day and had men that lived on the premises, and so their name was Greathouse, and so my mother then became Alice Greathouse. Mm-hmm. And I don't doubt for a moment that life was really hard on her as a little girl. But she ended up having 2 brothers. One was biological to my grandmother and grandfather. They actually had one biological son, and then there was a second adopted son, Bob. And I don't think any of them were very kind to Mother. But the nicest thing that they did for her is they put her through nursing school. So,
And school, and high school.
oh, and high school, that's true.
They let her go to school. It wasn't like
That's right.
Like she was a real slave.
That's right.
So,
I mean, she still had those things that she did. The workload was there as a child, but she played the flute in the band, and so we have pictures of her in a band uniform, and so that's where she met my father, because my mom was in nurses training and she was working out on the floor, and my dad's mother had some, I believe it was some surgery. I'm not totally certain, and that would be a good question for us to ask Mom. But anyhow, Mom was the nurse taking care of her. And so my dad came to visit her. He was in the Navy, and he was a cook. Thank you for providing the.
too. That's right. I was a cook.
He was a cook just like Lee. Actually, I should say Lee was a cook just like my dad, because he was there a little bit earlier than Lee.
He was there first.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
And so that's where they met. And I don't think they even dated real long before they knew they wanted to get married. And so they got married on April 6th, 19... 49.
Did I know that? On April 6th?
That you were born on their 25th wedding anniversary.
I did know that. But
It's
yeah.
one of those things that slips.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were born on their 25th wedding anniversary. Yeah. Which was so cool. That was bittersweet because, of course, you know, it was just 10 days later something that we lost Dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
after that. So, so anyway, I think that's most of what I know about the
What
background.
was Dale's mother's name?
Oh, so, my grandmother's name was Vera, and my grandfather's name was Carl Dale Paulson, and my dad was Dale Paulson, named after his dad. And I believe that my grandmother on my dad's side, his mother, I believe their name was Brown, but there are several other names that are in the lineage there that I'm not quite certain about.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, I've had a lot of opportunity through the years to follow or to put together a lineage, and my grandmother put together a book at one time and gave all of us. And I don't know why, but I was just never all that interested. And that's a weird thing. I just,
Me too. I'm in the same boat. I want to know, but then I just
I mean, you can tell me, and I'm glad to have the information,
Yeah.
but it's never been anything I wanted to spend time on.
yeah.
So, yeah, and that's interesting that you felt that kind of same way.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'd like to know,
Yeah.
but if I don't know, that's okay too, you know,
Yeah.
so.
So you answered the second question,
what-
which was how did your parents meet?
Oh, that was my second
so you
question.
so you answered.
Oh,
that one
I
too.
answered that
That's
too,
perfect.
because, yeah, and it was at Bryan Memorial Hospital
Yeah.
in Lincoln,
In Lincoln.
Nebraska.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my dad was very good looking, and my mom was tiny and would be considered a hottie.
Consider it what?
A hottie. Because we have pictures of her and her nursing classmates, and they'd go up on the top floor of the Bryan Memorial Hospital, and they could get out there and sit and sunburn. And so we have this
Sunburn?
Yeah, well, sunbathe, I mean. They probably did sunburn.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
sure.
But yeah, they would go out, and so we have this one picture of my mom, and she's all stretched out. She's got her, you know, she's in a poise look, and she's got on. I mean, they're hot pants shorts. That's
Yeah.
you know, that's what they were wearing then.
Yeah.
So quite cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, quite cute.
Awesome. Okay.